Welcome to everyone. I am Kathleen Weaver, Mayor of the City of Darien, and I'm so happy all of you were able to join us this evening. I'd like to first recognize the elected officials in the local elected officials in our audience this evening. We have a wonderful staff of aldermen, and our staff is terrific too. I feel very lucky to have such great support and a great group of individuals to work with. So for our city government, we have our city clerk, Joanne Ragona, is here this evening. Our city treasurer, Mike Corin, is here. And our city administrator, Brian Vanna. And I'd like to introduce, many of you have not got the word that we have a new police chief. And he is with us this evening. His name is Greg Thomas. He was asked and he offered, willingly offered to become our police chief. And I'm very grateful and thank him for joining us. Now for the aldermen in our audience this evening, we have Ted Schauer, who is our alderman for Ward 1. Over here, okay. Tina Belke from Ward 2. Joe Kenny, Ward 3. Okay. Tom Klistic from Ward 4, back at the door. The new kid on the block, yes. Alderman from Ward 5 is Joe Marquez. And Ward 7 is Tom Balzac. We have some other local elected officials in the audience this evening, too. We have some of our Park District people. Ray Jablonski, who is the president of the Park Board. Kathy Marquez. And Frank Novarini from the Park Board. And we're very happy to have so many individuals from our Indian Prairie Library this evening. Vicky Soriano, president. Diane Rossetti. Okay. A little shy to stand up there. That's okay. That's okay. Crystal Margaritis. And forgive me if I butcher this name, Julio Lacayo. Did I get it right? All right. And now our library director, Jamie Vuckovich. Did I get that right? Okay. And we also have the leader, the fearless leader of our Darien Chamber with us this evening, Claire Bongiovanni. Claire's doing a great job with our chamber, very active chamber in the city of Darien. Now I'd like to recognize our volunteers. Years ago we decided to combine the recognition of the volunteers who give so much time to the city, volunteering and committees, and bring them into our Citizen of the Year celebration. And so tonight I'd like to recognize some of those individuals that are with us this evening. From our communications cable volunteers, we have Steve Kawina. Is Steve in the room? Uh-oh, he must have ducked out for the washroom, I bet, huh? Oh, there he is, way back. Okay, we got him. We have Dennis Kelly and John Larata are also with us this evening. From our environmental committee, we have Alan Jakomek. Alan, back, okay. Arletta Pecknick. Jim Dukalski, Jim Tukalski wears a lot of hats. He's also our disc jockey this evening. And Chris Sant is here with us this evening. Okay. Now, this guy just seems to be on all sorts of committees, but we have our Fire and Police Commissioner here this evening, and it happens to be Frank Novarini. On our Planning and Zoning Commission, we have a number of members: Ron Kiefer, John Larata, Lou Mallers, Bev Meyer, Ray Milkus, and Ken Ritzer. Thank you all for giving so much time to the City of Darien in your volunteer positions. We couldn't do it without you. So we really are grateful for the time you spend on behalf of the city. For our lending closet, I think I talked about the lending closet last year. It's a little secret we have in Darien, and if you don't know about it, you need to know about it. Dan and Mary Sackett, are you here this evening? Dan and Mary Sackett, are you here this evening? Dan and Mary head our lending closet. It is it's a service we have to lend medical equipment to residents of Darien who are in need, wheelchairs, crutches, canes, whatever. And if you need something like that on a temporary basis, we have those that kind of equipment. And Dan and Mary Sackett are the individuals that you would contact to get that equipment. Now, big thank you to our Citizen of the Year committee members, and what a great job they do putting this event together every year. And first of all, Bonnie Kucera, who is the chairman of the committee, and her fellow members, Barb Boyer, Carol Mallers, and Linda Zeman. Thank you for a wonderful job every year. I can't get over how smoothly you make this event run. Thank you. We have a lot of Citizens of the Year, of the past Citizens of the Year with us this evening, and I'd like to introduce them. The first person is the longest serving past Citizen of the Year is Lil Brown from 1974. Pat Gillespie was our Citizen of the Year for 1999. Chris Sant was our citizen for 2002. And John Callan, 2004. Joanne Danello was our Citizen of the Year for 2005. Is Joanne here this evening? Okay. And Rosemary Courtney for 2006. There she is. Jim Tukalski, where did I hear that name before? 2008. And in 2009, Art Donner. In 2010, Deacon Paul Broccoli was our Citizen of the Year. And 2013, Kathy Marquez. And last year's Citizen of the Year was Ron Kiefer. With all of these individuals that give so much time and our past recipients of the Citizen of the Year, it's easy to tell why our motto is, it's a nice place to live. We applaud all of you for all that you do for the City of Darien. On Tuesday, February 16th, the City Council passed a resolution honoring Marian as our 2016 Citizen of the Year, and I'd like to read that resolution now. Whereas Marian has been a resident of Darien since 1977, and Marian and Larry have been married for 46 years, and Marian and Larry have two daughters, Carolyn and Elizabeth, and Marian and Larry have 7 grandchildren who are just chomping at the bit to get moving here, I can tell, you know. Grant, Jake, Jonathan, Kate, Andrew, Matthew, and Megan. And whereas Marian's milestones are not measured in days or months of support, but in multitude of years, and whereas Marian Krupicka began her support for library service in the community of Darien early on by being part of a group from the Darien Women's Club who started and supported the Darien Volunteer Library. And whereas in 1985, when the library became tax-supported, a tax-supported entity, Marian became library trustee and continues that service to today. And whereas Marian has served on the library board as president, vice president, secretary, and is presently serving as treasurer, and she has sat on the finance, nominating, personnel, building and grounds, policy and planning, annexation committees. And whereas Marian was part of the foundation board when the Indian Prairie Library, Public Library Foundation was started in 1994, and continues to serve on this vital extension of the library. And whereas Marian was awarded the Trustee of the Year in 2008 by the Metropolitan Library System for her outstanding achievements. And whereas Marian has become a landmark in the creation and continued growth of the Indian Prairie Library for over 35 years, and is regarded by her library colleagues as a true friend and mentor of the library. And whereas Marian signed her first teaching contract with District 61 in 1970 as a reading teacher at Eisenhower Junior High, and whereas Marian has touched many lives, not only teaching reading, but through many activities formulating children's minds. And whereas Marian was on the planning committee for numerous years for the cultural fair, and integral part of the district's reading committee, and chaperoned many of the Washington, D.C. annual trips for the 8th grade students. And whereas Marian was very active with children with special needs, and whereas Marian believed in the philosophy that not one size fits all types of teachers, and whereas Marian developed strong relationships with the school's population and reached out to her fellow teaching colleagues as a friend and resource, and she was referred to by teachers as Mother Marian because of her mentoring ways and her uplifting spirit. And whereas Marian retired from the district in 2009, and whereas Marian has been a strong contributor to the Darien Women's Club for many years, where she has served and held a variety of offices, such as recording secretary and vice president, and currently serving as home life chairman. And whereas Marian puts her efforts towards the store at Burgess Nursing Home, bake sales, and the Safety Village, and whereas Marian has been instrumental in coordinating gifts, working with the Lions Club and the Park District to provide for needy families at Christmas, and whereas Marian was a judge in 2015 for the VFW District 19 Voice of Democracy High School Students Audio Essay Scholarship Competition, and whereas Marian and Larry have been both active at Our Lady of Peace Church as sacristans, ensuring that all elements are ready for the celebration of Mass. And whereas Marian supports the church's fellowship as a member of the social committee by helping provide a dinner twice a year, including shopping for food, preparing the food with others, and serving as well. And whereas Marian certainly satisfies the guidelines for the selection of the Citizen of the Year for her diversity of activities, length of service, degree of involvement in the community, and impact to the city. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Darien, DuPage County, that Marian Krupicka is hereby designated the 2016 Citizen of the Year for the City of Darien in recognition of her many years of dedicated service to the city. And this was a unanimous vote. I'm going to Marian, you can stay right where you are at. I'm going to bring the things to you, okay? So we're not done recognizing you, and many Many groups have recognized you for your service and being the Citizen of the Year. I have letters and proclamations from the United States Senator Mark Kirk and Illinois State Representative Patty Bellock. And I will bring those over to you in just a minute. But I'd like to introduce John Curran and Tonya Curry from the DuPage County Board, who have a proclamation to present to you too.
Thank you, Mayor. Marian, on behalf of DuPage County Board, we are just thrilled to be here tonight to share in you receiving this honor. And turn it over to my seatmate, Tonya Curry.
Thank you. Thank you. Marian, you are well loved, it sounds like. And there's a lot of love and sense of community. Yes. And the sense of community in this room really is just beautiful. So thank you so much for letting us be a part of it. So on behalf of the DuPage County Board, I would like to read this proclamation. Whereas DuPage County recognizes Marian Krupicka of Darien, who has selflessly devoted her time and talents to serving her community and improving the life of her fellow neighbors. And whereas for more than 35 years, Marian has been an active resident of Darien, where she resides with her husband. And whereas in 1978, Marian became a part of a group of the Darien Women's Club, who started and supported the Darien Volunteer Library that was originally housed on a bus known as the Bookmobile. And whereas she played a vital role in the passing of the referendum that merged the Darien and Willowbrook libraries to become the Indian Prairie Public Library in 1988. And whereas Marian has served on the Indian Prairie Public Library Foundation Board that was started in 1994 as president, vice president, and secretary, and is presently serving as treasurer. And whereas in 1970, she began her teaching career with the school District 61 as a reading teacher at Eisenhower Junior High, where she touched the lives of students. And whereas Marian spent more than 35 years as a teacher, who was greatly respected by her students and colleagues, teachers even referred to her, as the mayor said, Mother Marian, because of her mentoring ways and uplifting spirit. And whereas she has also volunteered for different philanthropic efforts, including the Darien Women's Club, Burgess Nursing Home, and was instrumental in coordinating gifts and working with the Lions Club and Park District to provide for needy families at Christmas. And whereas Marian's generosity has truly made a positive impact on thousands of Darien and DuPage County families, earning her the honor of the 2016 Darien Citizen of the Year. And now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Daniel J. Cronin, Chairman of the DuPage County Board, and members of the County Board, do hereby commend Marian Krupicka for humbly serving her community, thus prompting the distinction of the 2016 Darien Citizen of the Year. Enacted this 5th day of March, 2016, in Wheaton, Illinois. So congratulations.
At this time, I'd like to ask U.S. Congressman Bill Foster to come up to make his presentation.
Well, thank you all for inviting me today, and thank you, Mayor Weaver, and the Darien Citizen of the Year Committee for organizing this wonderful celebration. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Congressman Bill Foster. I'm a scientist and businessman. It's my honor to represent the 11th Congressional District of Illinois in Washington, D.C. And I'm so pleased that we're all here to honor Marian and celebrate this wonderful community. This week I submitted a statement into the congressional record honoring Marian and the work you've done. This statement will be archived in perpetuity in the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., and also visible in the internet in perpetuity so that her grandchildren will actually be able to notice it. So I'll read it here. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to honor Marian Krupicka of Darien, Illinois, as the Darien, Illinois Citizen of the Year 2016. Mrs. Krupicka first began her support of public libraries in 1978 by volunteering with the Darien Library, which at the time was housed in a bus. when started as a small bookmobile in a parking lot in Darien in 1978. And it's now grown to the renowned award-winning Indian Prairie Public Library, thanks to Mrs. Krupicka and her dedication to serving our community. Mrs. Krupicka's contribution to the Darien community does not stop at her library service. She dedicated 30 years of her life to educating students as a language arts and social studies teacher at Eisenhower High School. During her teaching career, she influenced many young hearts and minds through her not one-size-fits-all teaching philosophy. Mr. Speaker, I ask my colleagues to join me in congratulating Mrs. Krupicka for being named Darien Citizen of the Year and thank her for her time, service, and commitment that she has given to this community. Signed, Bill Foster, March 3rd, 2016. And I also have, one of the things Marian was involved in was the Women's Club. And it turns out that the Congress of the United States is not exactly a women's club. And however, there have been women since 1917 who have served. And this is a history of the women who have served in the United States Congress. And it's a special presentation for you. You may find a library, or you may keep it personally. But thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, it's good. That's right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh,
That's kind of fitting, don't you think, Marian, to get a book like that? Yeah. For what you do? Yeah. For all that you do. Another presentation, I'd like to have Ron Kiefer come up to make a presentation.
Marian, last year I was the recipient of a flag that was flown over our nation's capital. And this year I have the great honor of presenting to you a flag that was flown on January 27th in your honor as Darien Citizen of the Year. And it couldn't go to a more deserving person who is a fellow educator and one of the outstanding people in our community.
Marian, don't sit down. You can set this thing. I have to make it official. You have to come up here for me to present the plaque that makes it's official. You are the Citizen of the Year. Congratulations. These things too. That's the other proclamations. So now I'd like to introduce Jamie Vuckovich of the Indian Prairie Library, who is a good friend of Marian's and who will give us a toast this evening.
I'm the only one who gets to bring up a glass of wine, but I'm going to have to set it aside for a minute here. I'm the director of the Indian Prairie Library, and I've known Marian for 10 years. And Marian is the same today as when I met her. She is a whirlwind of activity, and anyone who knows her knows exactly what I mean. And I'm sure she was the same way when she moved to Darien in 1977. We have heard all these beautiful proclamations today, and they're so true. I don't need to repeat anything because everything has been said about all the major contributions Marian has made. I also know her personally, so I do want to just take a second to note that besides all these things that she has done in her community, she has also given of her time and energy and her love to her family as a daughter, a sister, a wife, a mother, and grandmother. And she's very invested in her family, so it's wonderful. So Marian has done so much to make Darien a nice place to live. But the key to what Marian does is not just what she does, but how she does it. Whatever Marian does, it is done with warmth and thoughtfulness. And enthusiasm, and a spark of humor. It's done with a sparkle in her eye and a smile on her face. But more importantly, Marian has demonstrated the very best of what it means to make a difference. Stepping up when needed, taking leadership role, or else just being a team member, supporting, inspiring, and mentoring others, always offering an ear to listen and a caring presence. Marian's legacy comes not just from the many ways she has contributed to Darien, but the relationships she has built and the meaningful ways she has impacted others. So please join me in raising a glass to the 2016 Darien Citizen of the Year, Marian Krupicka. Many blessings to you and your family. And now I would like to introduce the Master of Ceremonies, Angela McGreal.
So here I am, the Master of Ceremonies. I didn't want to be called the Mistress of Ceremonies because I think Master sounds a little bit more powerful. I'm a resident of Darien for many years, and I want to thank you all for finding time in your busy schedules to share this evening with Marian and her family as we honor her as our Citizen of the Year. We all share something in common. We live in a town in which we take a lot of pride. We might work in this town, we might visit this town, but many of us live in this town and we take pride in our community. We support our community. And we also take pride in the special people who contribute to our town to make it a special place. And Marian has earned the reputation, and she's earned our admiration for what she contributes to our community. I mean, I'm in awe of all the things that she's accomplished in her years here. We've been friends for many years. In District 61, I spent some time there teaching and assisting and substituting, and Marian was always there to help me out. I volunteered with Marian in Women Club events, and I have to tell you that we've shared many hours of coffee together in conversation as we talk about our lives and our family and our community. I've always enjoyed her enthusiasm and her passion for whatever challenge comes in her direction. And she is so devoted to all her friends and her family members. She always makes time. If I give her a call and I say, "What are you doing? Do you have time for coffee?" She'll say, "Yeah, I can do it. Let's meet." And that's what a friend's about. And Marian, we're happy in Darien that you left your home state of Wisconsin, the University of Wisconsin, and met a Hinsdale Central graduate, Larry, and chose our town to raise your beautiful family and devote your life to the service of others. It's a job you've done so well. And please, let's raise your glasses one more time in honor of Marian, because we want to honor her tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers. I'd like to welcome her daughter, Caroline, for a few moments, please. And then I'm going to ask some other people to come and share some thoughts about Marian. And do you notice, I still use paper, but the next generation is electronic.
Okay, thank you. Okay. For those of you who do not know me, I am Marian's daughter, Caroline. I live in Darien with my husband and 2 boys. I would like to congratulate my mom on her much-deserved recognition as Darien Citizen of the Year. I have always thought my mom is deserving of this award. It is a joy to see her be recognized for all her hard work and dedication to different organizations in Darien. Her energy and dedication to all that she does is admirable. After a long day of teaching 150 7th and 8th graders, she would always have enough energy to go to a women's club meeting or library board meeting. I have followed in her footsteps and also teach 7th and 8th grade. But all I want to do after a long day is pour myself a big drink and watch The Real Housewives. She can watch my sick boys all day and still manage to get to a meeting or function. On a cold winter night, when all I want to do is to get on my robe and stay inside, she will drive to make baskets for the needy. She's a bit of a celebrity in Darien, and I do not recommend going to the Jewel with her on 75th Street. As she comes across at least 3 people she knows, and a short trip to pick her up may turn into an hour shopping trip. I can only hope to one day be as involved in my community, but more importantly, be such a wonderful mother, wife, grandmother, teacher, friend, and wife. Before my boys go to bed, I always tell them how lucky I am to be their mom. And to my mom, I say, how did I get so lucky to be your daughter? We're all better for having her in our lives. On behalf of my sister Beth, my dad, and I, we thank the city of Darien for also acknowledging what a wonderful person my mom is. We love you. Congratulations. And Kate Lyman is going to come up, colleague of Darien School District 61. Kate Lyman.
The art of teaching combines many skills and talents. Marian possesses all of them. She established relationships with her students, understood them, and challenged them to grow and develop a love of learning. Her high standards never wavered as she helped her students to achieve. Teaching excited her. Reading is a passion for Marian, and she wanted her students to have that same passion. She modeled for her students everything she hoped they would aspire to. Always positive, Marian never let frustrations show. She greeted students and colleagues alike with a smile on her face. Always willing to be a part of any collaborative effort, her input was welcomed and valued. Marian was not someone who taught so that she could have summers off. She taught because it was a part of who she is. Her colleagues respected and admired her. Those of us who taught in Darien 61 thought of ourselves as part of a family. Speaking for the members of our family, we couldn't be happier that Marian is receiving this well-deserved recognition. Thank you. I'd like to welcome Barb Sparks, President of the Darien Women's Club.
As president of the Darien Women's Club, I am honored to say a few words about Marian. Marian has been a lifelong member of the Darien Women's Club. Her voluntary contributions of her time and talent has resulted in great accomplishments for our club. She has held many positions, among them program chairman, Ways and Means chair, philanthropy chair, and education chair, which is responsible for awarding scholarships to high school students. Marian has helped work on fashion shows, house walks, creative youth art fairs, blood drives, children's clothing resales, bake sales, holiday soap collections, Easter bags for nursing homes, Mother Day's bags for women's shelters, and many other projects. Her enthusiasm is contagious. This year, as Home Life Chair, she has worked closely with the Darien Park District's Christmas Toys for Needy Children, organizing a giving tree among the members of the club for gift items suitable for teens, an area lacking in these types of gifts. Marian joins 4 other Darien Women's Club members who have also received this prestigious award for contributing greatly to the community and exemplifying the meaning of giving, leadership, and commitment. Marion's willingness to step up, come forward, and lead is something we have all come to admire. So, Marian, we thank you for your commitment and your leadership, but above all, we thank you for your friendship. Now I'd like to introduce Jamie Vuckovich, Director of the Indian Prairie Public Library.
Hello again. Just here to say a few more words in relation to the library, which I want to give a plug for. I hope to see all of you there next week. I do want to acknowledge a few other trustees who are here tonight. Don Damon is here as well. I know he's sitting at the Darien Women's Club table. And Jim Koss, I believe, is here, who served, there's Jim. Jim served as a trustee from 1982 to 1993 and was very instrumental in moving the library forward in its early days. So you all have heard tonight about how Marian started her library career. And I will say career, because it has been for more than 30 years. So it has been a part-time job for her. And thank goodness, we are so happy that that has occurred. That she started her career in libraries working on the volunteer bus, sweeping up floors, dusting shelves, and checking out materials to our residents. She was entrusted to lock up the bus at night, but she was not trusted to keep the key. She then had to drop the key off at somebody else's house. So, eventually we got past that, obviously, and Bob Campworth invited her to become a trustee in 1985. So she worked with the other trustees in this great vision that they had to merge the Willowbrook Library and the Darien Library. And it truly was a great vision, because I will tell you, the two towns could not have the library they have today if they had stayed small individual libraries. You just couldn't have done it. So it was a great vision, and Marian helped to shepherd that through, and it's been amazing ever since. During that phase, they went from 7 trustees on a board to 14. So those of you who are on committees and boards can imagine what that's like to work with 14 people. It's not easy. Also, Marian was there knocking on doors and making phone calls for 3 referendums to get a new library building, to move out of the storefront. 3 referendums. That's tough also, let me tell you. But they passed it on the 3rd referendum, and we have the beautiful building that we have today for the library, and it's wonderful, and it's exciting. Over the years, Marian has helped oversee 2 construction projects within the building, as well as a complete renovation. She's worked with the trustees and administration, of course, every year to develop the budget. She's worked on numerous strategic plans. She has provided so much insight into the schools and education and the community for us. She is very supportive of the staff and has been such a great mentor to trustees on the board. But what's really great is that through all of these years, we're talking over 30 years, Marian has stayed up to date with trends. She's still full of ideas, and she has such great enthusiasm. It is just a joy and a pleasure to have her on the board. Darien and Indian Prairie are very fortunate to have such a dedicated trustee guiding and supporting the library. Thank you so much, Marian, for helping to make Indian Prairie what it is today. And now I want to invite Angela back to the podium.
Now, you may wonder just what is a day like in the life of Marian. You're going to see her everywhere. You're going to see her at women club activities, socials, 3 book groups, because the woman has to read 3 books at a time. I can barely finish 1 book at a time. She needs 3 going at a time. You're going to see her lunching with her mother over at Oak Trace. You're going to see her breakfasting with Larry at a restaurant after church on Sundays. And you may even have crossed paths with her and had a teacher's conference with her over the last 35 years. So she gets around. She really does. I want to share a few fun facts about Marian, because you think you know her, but let's find out what happens next. In the spirit of education, you're going to be taking part of an exam. And don't worry, it's not going to include those Common Core standards that, a lot of people are afraid of. But family members, they're now exempt from the exam. So, but family members, I do need some volunteers. Do I have some volunteers at that table? Do I have, could I see show of hands? Some volunteers? Okay. There is a special treat for you if you participate. Okay, so here we go. Here's the test questions. You better volunteer, audience, all you people out there, because I know you're all the movers and shakers in town, so let's get some participation. How well do you really know Marian? First question. What is her favorite store? Is it Nordstrom's? Is it TJ Maxx? Or is it Talbot's? Who knows the answer to this question? Who wants to take a guess? I'll take a volunteer. Where's it coming from? Nordstrom's. Wrong. Kathy, back table. TJ Maxx, she is a winner. Deliver a prize to her. Okay, favorite TV show. Blue Bloods, Downton Abbey, or The Good Wife, because you know she is a good wife. Okay, what's her favorite TV show? Oh, Miss Gata. It's Downton Abbey, yes, prize for that woman. Thank you, Linda. Her favorite vacation spot. Now, Washington, D.C., you know, she's very civic-minded. Yellowstone National Park, or London, you know, it's that British thing. Where do you think what's her favorite spot? Carol? Yellowstone National Park. That's prize. Carol, you get a prize. Now, if you haven't noticed, she has a very favorite snack food. Could it be Rice Krispie Treats, Girl Scout Thin Mints, you know, one of my favorites, red Swedish fish. Vicki, it's the fish. That table. Now, I hope you've learned something new about Marian, because I'm overwhelmed about all her contributions. And, you know, there's someone famous in Darien that tells us a lot that we're always where we're supposed to be. And I guess we're supposed to be here tonight to celebrate Marian. So would you come to the podium, please?
This is my turn? Oh, okay. I get to call Angela back, so we're not done with her. You know, I'm truly overwhelmed and honored by your attendance at tonight's dinner and by this award. But this is an award that needs to be shared. So, my family, hi guys, my husband Larry, my mom, and my daughter Beth, and 3 of the 5 children. 2 are back in Cincinnati with her husband. They're in high school. And daughter Caroline, thank you for your speech. Brad and the 2 boys, Grant and Jake. And don't forget Megan and Matthew and Andrew. They've stayed awake and enjoyed the evening with us. And I hope you enjoyed Megan. She provided a little entertainment. And my sister Chris and Clem, and my sister Jane and Paul, and my niece Anna. I appreciate your coming. And growing up, my family had to put up with leaving for meetings and telephone conversations, which are now replaced with emails and texts. But lots of evening grading. When I retired, I think I missed all those stacks of papers that I didn't have on my lap every evening. And thank you to my friends and my family, too, for sharing your lives with me. I've always appreciated the good times and the support and the encouragement and the friendships that I have. And I'd also like, and I know I'm saying a lot of thank yous, but I really, truly do mean it, the library administration and the staff and the trustees who have been wonderful to work with and who share their dedication.
and the caring staff and administration at Eisenhower in District 61 who shared the wonders of working with 13-year-olds for 35 years. And I asked the boys to do a little mental math. 35 times 150 students equals... They'll figure it out. To the wonderful members of the Darien Women's Club who have contributed so much to our community for over 46 years and provided so many volunteer opportunities to us. And it's not all work. We really have a great time doing it. And to the members of Our Lady of Peace Church, and thank you, Deacon Paul, for the invocation again. And they serve not only church members, but they do serve our community. And I don't know if all communities have so many opportunities, but there are no shortage of volunteer opportunities here in Darien. And I made a whole long list, and you know who you are, but I don't want to leave anybody out. But Lions and Rotary and Kiwanis and Scouts and PTOs and school foundations, I'm not done. And school boards and parent groups and fire department boards and park districts and DYC and youth sport coaches who give so much time, and literacy tutoring, church groups, food pantries, blood drives, Darien Historical Society, the Garden Club, the VFW, Safety Village, Good Works with Sunny Patch, senior groups, the Chamber, city committees, and so many other DuPage area organizations that benefit Darien. I hope I didn't leave anybody out, but I'm just overwhelmed at how much time and effort people in Darien put towards these organizations. So I thank you. And so many people work so hard and put in countless hours that there should be hundreds of deserving honorees behind me. I feel like I don't want to take it all. It belongs to so many of you. And I think I hear the music from the Emmys or Oscars, and they tell you you're done. So I do want to thank Mayor Weaver, though, and the city officials and Congressman Foster and the nominating committee, and you know who you are, and Angela and Jamie Vuckovich for her kind words. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening, and I do, again, thank you so much for this honor. Thank you.
Thank you to the Darien Citizen of the Year Committee for their lovely evening. And I want to leave you with one quote. Mahatma Gandhi said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." And I think that epitomizes Marian tonight. So enjoy the evening. Let the party begin, because they already started next door. And thank you so much. Good evening.